Hey everyone, glad to see you again on the show. Have you ever thought about why some bread doesn't rise? We're going to learn about the history of unleavened bread today. This food has a very interesting past. It all starts in Egypt in the past. People there made bread a very long time ago, though not while it was still rising. Why? Because they had to leave quickly to get away from slavery, no time for fluffy loaves. It was called matzah, and the story behind it became a ritual. Every year, people ate it to remember how they got out of Egypt. Bread without yeast wasn't just for Egyptians. Over time, people from other countries began to use it in religious ceremonies. It came to represent fresh starts and easy living. That means the next time you see a pizza, it could be a piece of history. A taste of a time when bread was more than just food, it was a sign of freedom and custom. What other foods from the past would you like to learn more about? Let's take a closer look at a favorite breakfast food, the sandwich partner. White bread is the only thing that matters. We all know it tastes good, but is it good or bad for your diet? Here are 8 interesting facts about white bread that will make you say dough. Fact 1. It's not so simple to make this recipe, which might not be a bad thing. Everyone knows that white bread is made of flour, water, yeast, and salt. Kind of. Most of the flour comes from the endosperm, which is the starchy part in the middle of the wheat seed. It doesn't have the bran, the top layer, or the germ, the core that is full of nutrients. Some companies do add vitamins and minerals back in, though, which is kind of like a healthy superhero team-up. Fact 2. They went from being poor to being well-known. Talk about upward mobility. You wouldn't believe it, but white bread wasn't always simple food. In ancient Egypt, it was a fancy item that only the wealthy owned. When we get to the Middle Ages, white bread became a sign of wealth. You are more well off if your white loaf is better. It's crazy, right? Fact 3. A toast to ease of use. Think about a world where bread wasn't already cut. You had to use a knife to cut your own bread before the 1920s. That was a pain at breakfast time. Then, in 1928, a salesman named Otto Roeder came up with a machine that could slice bread. It was clear that ease is king, or should we say, baker. When sliced bread became a huge hit. Fact 4. Wheat versus white. Now let's talk about food. White bread has less fiber, vitamins, and minerals than its whole wheat cousin. Fiber is great for your gut system, and the minerals and vitamins in it keep your body running well. This time, whole wheat wins. Fact 5. What white bread does to your body. In terms of GI, white bread is worse than whole wheat bread. GI basically tells you how fast a food makes your blood sugar rise. Folks who are watching their blood sugar may want to think about this, so keep that in mind. Fact 6. White bread has some secret skills. White bread isn't just for sandwiches, right? It can be your best friend when you make French toast, the star of a really tasty bread pudding or even turned into crunchy breadcrumbs. Next time you want to try something new in the kitchen, don't forget how useful white bread can be. Fact 7. How to keep your bread fresh. Good news! People who like white bread, it stays fresh longer than whole wheat bread most of the time. But don't forget that mold is not your friend. Put your bread somewhere cool and dry that isn't cold to keep it fresh and tasty. Fact 8. Eating white bread is part of a healthy diet. Even though white bread isn't the healthiest food, it can still be a tasty part of your breakfast. The key is to be moderate. Fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and white bread are all healthy foods that go well together. So, is white bread a blessing or a curse? You decide. But hey, you now know 8 shocking facts that will help you make smart decisions. As you read this, please tell me your favorite way to eat white bread. Don't forget to like and follow for more fun videos about food.